The cameras haven't even cooled down from the last explosive episode, and now everything's spiraling out of control again. Viewers can't stop talking, social media is on fire, and the cast of Basketball Wives LA Season 12 has just been shaken to its core. Because word on the street is that Chantel's man has dropped a bombshell no one saw coming. He's allegedly claiming that Evelyn's darkest secret is finally out. And it involves him. That's right. Rumors are swirling that Evelyn might be pregnant by Chantel's man. And this shocking twist has every fan, every blog, and every group chat in total meltdown. But hold on. Before anyone jumps to conclusions, let's be clear, these are the stories making rounds in the entertainment world, not confirmed facts. Still, the whispers have become impossible to ignore. Sources close to the cast say tempers flared during filming, voices were raised, and the tension between Chantel and Evelyn exploded like never before. Evelyn, usually calm and composed, reportedly stormed off set, while Chantel's man didn't hold back his side of the story either. What really went down between them? Was this a misunderstanding gone wrong, or something far more scandalous brewing behind the scenes? Stay tuned, because this revelation could change everything we thought we knew about their friendships, loyalties, and love lives. It all started quietly, or at least that's how it seemed on the surface. The ladies of Basketball Wives LA Season 12 were filming what was supposed to be a healing retreat, a chance for everyone to clear the air after weeks of petty fights, shade-throwing, and emotional breakdowns. But anyone who's followed this cast knows that peace never lasts for long. Behind every calm smile, there's tension waiting to erupt, and this time, that spark came from somewhere no one expected. Chantel arrived first, dressed to perfection, glowing, confident, and ready to move past old drama. She had her man by her side, a bold move, considering how protective some of the ladies are when it comes to bringing men into their circle. Evelyn showed up next, rocking her signature style and that unbothered attitude fans either love or love to hate. At first, everything seemed fine. There were hugs, awkward laughs, and a few side eyes caught on camera. Jackie, of course, noticed every detail. She whispered to Brandy, "You feel that energy? Something's off." And she was right. Because just hours later, a conversation that started with small talk turned into a heated exchange no one saw coming. Chantel's man, who had been quiet most of the day, suddenly found himself at the center of attention after Evelyn made a casual comment about men who can't keep their stories straight. It sounded innocent enough, but Chantel caught the tone. The producers caught the glance, and the tension in that room went from 0 to 100 real quick. "Wait, what's that supposed to mean?" Chantel shot back, her voice sharp but controlled. Evelyn smirked, sipping her drink. "I'm just saying, some people should make sure their partners aren't out here making promises they can't keep." The room froze. Even Jackie went silent. Cameras zoomed in, catching every flicker of expression, every nervous glance. And that's when Chantel's man, clearly done with the shade, leaned forward and said, "You want to talk about promises, Evelyn? Then let's talk about secrets." That one sentence changed the whole energy. You could literally feel the air get heavy. Brandy's jaw dropped, and even producers stepped in to calm things down. But it was too late. Evelyn's confident expression cracked for just a split second, and that was all fans needed to start speculating. What secret was he talking about? And why did Evelyn suddenly look like she'd seen a ghost? As whispers spread across the set, the once peaceful retreat turned into emotional chaos. Evelyn stormed out, Chantel followed her, and the cameras caught every single second of it. What was supposed to be a calm afternoon now looked like the beginning of the biggest scandal Basketball Wives LA has ever seen. And according to the crew, this was just the beginning. When Evelyn stormed off set, everyone thought she needed a moment to cool down. But minutes turned into hours, and that moment became a full-blown disappearance. Producers were scrambling, Chantel was pacing, and the rest of the ladies were whispering like wildfire. Jackie, never one to hold back, muttered, "When somebody runs that fast, they're running from something." Brandy shot her a look. "Jackie, please don't start." But it was too late. Jackie had started, and now the entire cast was hungry for answers. Back in her private confessional, Chantel was visibly shaken but determined. "I'm not the one who brought this up," she said, her tone steady but eyes blazing. "If Evelyn got something to say about my man, she better say it to my face. I'm not about to let people play with my name. Or his." Fans watching the leaked clip online couldn't get enough. Hashtags like Evelyn's secret and Chantel drama started trending within hours. Meanwhile, Evelyn sat alone in her dressing room, pacing back and forth. For someone who prided herself on keeping her private life airtight, this rumor hit different. She called Jennifer first, her voice trembling just a little. "Girl, they're trying to paint me like some homewrecker. You know I would never cross that line." But Jennifer, always the realist, sighed. "Evelyn, you've got people talking. You might want to get ahead of it before it gets ugly." Outside, Chantel's man was having his own moment of frustration. Surrounded by producers, he defended himself. "I didn't say anything that wasn't true. She's the one that's been texting me, showing up where I am, trying to play it off like coincidence." The producers exchanged stunned looks. They weren't expecting this level of detail. "You're saying Evelyn reached out to you?" one asked cautiously. He nodded multiple times. "I told Chantel about it, and she said let it go. But I'm not gonna let people paint me as the bad guy." When Evelyn finally returned to set, the tension was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Chantel was waiting. The moment their eyes met, everyone knew. This wasn't going to end quietly. "So," Chantel began, crossing her arms, "you got something to say about my man? Say it now." Evelyn rolled her eyes. "Don't flatter yourself." "I don't need to talk about your man." Chantel took a step closer. "Then why is he saying you've been calling him? Why is he saying you've been showing up uninvited?" The room gasped. Brandy whispered, "Oh no, she didn't." Jackie's eyes lit up like it was Christmas morning. Cameras zoomed in as Evelyn's expression faltered for just a moment. "Girl, please," Evelyn snapped. "You really believe everything he says? He's probably saying that to keep you on a leash." But before Chantel could respond, her man stepped in. "Don't twist it, Evelyn. You know exactly what you did. You told me you were tired of fake friendships. You said you needed someone real, and you knew I was with Chantel." The air went silent. Evelyn's jaw tightened. "You're lying," she said under her breath, but the damage was done. Chantel's entire world seemed to freeze in that second. The tension, the disbelief, the heartbreak, it was all written on her face. Jackie, sensing another explosion, tried to play peacemaker. Ladies, let's not do this here." But Evelyn wasn't backing down. "He's lying to make himself look good. I didn't mess with him. I would never do that to Chantel," Chantel shot back. "Then why's there proof?" Everyone stopped. "Proof?" Evelyn repeated, her voice barely above a whisper. That's when Chantel's man pulled out his phone, showing a string of late-night texts, screenshots that would soon circulate across every gossip page imaginable. Evelyn's face went pale. "Delete that," she demanded, snatching for the phone, but he stepped back. "Now you want to act innocent?" Chantel shouted, her voice trembling with emotion. "You sat there and smiled in my face while texting him behind my back? Girl, you don't even know the full story." Evelyn snapped back, her composure finally breaking. "You think everything's black and white, but you don't know what was happening between me and him." That line, "what was happening between me and him," echoed through the entire house like an explosion. Producers yelled, "Cut!" But it was too late. The damage was done, and every cast member knew this moment would define the rest of the season. Outside, Brandy was the first to speak what everyone was thinking. "If this is true, Evelyn's done. Fans won't forgive her for this one." Jackie, never missing an opportunity, added, "Oh, honey, the fans ain't ready for what's about to come out next." Because little did anyone know, this scandal was just getting started. The texts were only the first piece of evidence, and what came next would leave the cast and viewers in complete disbelief. And somewhere in the middle of all the chaos, Chantel's man dropped one more line before the cameras cut to black. "Y'all think this is bad? You haven't even heard the part about the baby." The next morning, production went into full panic mode. Overnight, the internet had exploded. Clips from the previous night's confrontation were already circulating, and blogs were running wild with headlines like "Evelyn exposed." And Chantel's man drops receipts. Hashtags like BBWLA baby scandal and Evelyn pregnant rumor took over every corner of social media. Fans were dissecting every expression, every pause, every glance. But what no one expected, what no one could have seen coming, was that the whispers about a baby were about to take center stage. When filming resumed, the atmosphere was beyond tense. Producers called an emergency meeting with the cast to clear the air, but everyone knew the real issue wasn't going to stay off camera. Chantel sat there, silent but fuming, her nails tapping the table. Evelyn, on the other hand, looked tired, her usual confidence replaced by an edge of unease. Jackie leaned in toward Brandy and whispered, "Girl, this is about to be one for the history books." The moment the cameras started rolling, the questions began. The producer's voice was calm but loaded. "Evelyn, fans want to know, what's your response to these rumors about you and Chantel's man?" Evelyn exhaled sharply. "I'm not entertaining lies. I'm not pregnant. I'm not seeing her man. I'm not doing this," but her voice wavered slightly, and Chantel caught it immediately. "Then why did he say you told him you were?" Evelyn's eyes widened. "Excuse me?" "He said," Chantel continued, her tone deadly calm, "that you told him you were late. That you didn't know what to do." Gasps filled the room. Even the producer's pen froze mid-note. Evelyn's hand went to her face as she muttered, "He's making that up." But Chantel's man wasn't backing down. He walked onto the set uninvited, clearly ready to defend himself. "You told me," he said firmly, eyes locked on Evelyn, "that you missed your cycle and didn't know if it was mine or someone else's. Stop lying." Evelyn snapped, slamming her hand on the table. "That conversation never happened." "Then explain the voicemail," he shot back. The room froze again. "Voicemail?" Brandy repeated, her hand over her mouth. "Yeah," Chantel's man said, pulling out his phone. "You left a message. You were crying. You said you needed to talk in private. You said you were scared." Evelyn's face went pale. "Don't play that here," she said quickly. "You know that's not what that message was about." But it was too late. The producers had already given the signal. The phone was hooked up to the speakers, and a trembling voice filled the room. "Hey, it's me. Please don't say anything to anyone. I just need to talk. I don't know how this happened. I'm freaking out. Call me back, okay?" You could have heard a pin drop. Chantel's eyes welled with tears. Brandy sat in stunned silence. Jackie whispered under her breath, "Lord, have mercy." "Now tell me I'm lying," Chantel's man said quietly. Evelyn's composure shattered. "You know what?" she said, standing up. "I made that call because I was dealing with something personal. It wasn't about you. You're trying to twist everything to make me look bad," Chantel shot back. "Then why not say that before? Why wait until now? Why hide?" Evelyn's voice broke. "Because nobody would believe me. Everybody loves to think I'm the villain. And you," she pointed at Chantel's man, "you loved the attention. You told me things about Chantel, about how you felt trapped. You played both sides." He looked stunned. "That's not true. You came to me. You said you were lonely. Don't act like I chased you." At that moment, the set descended into chaos. Chantel jumped to her feet, yelling, "Don't talk to him! Don't even look at him!" Evelyn screamed back, "You think you own him? He was the one texting me." Jackie stood up, waving her hands. "Ladies, stop! This is getting dangerous." But the shouting only grew louder. Crew members rushed in, separating them before it turned physical. Later that evening, Evelyn refused to film, locking herself in her hotel room. Chantel broke down in tears during her confessional, whispering, "I don't even know what's true anymore. All I know is that everything feels like a lie." Meanwhile, blogs started speculating wildly. Some claimed Evelyn had been seen visiting a clinic. Others insisted she'd already confirmed the pregnancy privately. No one had proof, but the rumors had taken on a life of their own. Back on set, Jackie took the spotlight, as always. "I've been around long enough to know," she said dramatically to the cameras. "When there's this much smoke, there's usually fire. And honey, this whole situation is burning." In one of the final scenes of that day, Chantel's man sat alone, visibly conflicted. "I didn't mean for any of this to happen," he said quietly. "I just told the truth. But now it feels like the truth is destroying everybody." And as night fell over the BBWLA retreat house, the question hung heavy in the air. Was Evelyn really pregnant? Or was this the biggest misunderstanding the show had ever seen? One thing was clear. Whatever the truth was, the fallout had only just begun. By the next morning, the entire cast was in crisis mode. The producers were flooded with calls from gossip sites, social media accounts were exploding with exclusive sources, and even a few former cast members had started weighing in online. "If it's true, that's low," one commented on Instagram. Another simply wrote, "Evelyn always finds herself in the middle of something." But behind the scenes, things were much worse. Evelyn hadn't spoken to anyone since the night before. Chantel had packed her bags, threatening to leave filming altogether. And Chantel's man, now the most talked about person in the Basketball Wives LA universe, was under lockdown by production, who were terrified he'd give an interview before they could control the narrative. Jackie, of course, saw this as her moment. She was the first to knock on Evelyn's door. "Evelyn, babe, you gotta talk to me." Silence just makes it worse. After a long pause, Evelyn opened the door, her eyes puffy and voice weak. "They're all against me, Jackie. I didn't do what they're saying." Jackie stepped inside carefully, lowering her voice. "Then prove it. You know how this game works. If you don't speak, someone else will tell your story for you." Evelyn sat on the edge of her bed, staring at her phone. "There's nothing to prove. The internet already decided I'm guilty." Across the resort, Chantel was filming her own confessional, the tone completely different. "At this point, I don't even know what's real anymore. If it's true, I'll never forgive her. And if it's not, then my man just dragged both our names through the mud for nothing." She paused, wiping her tears. "Either way, I'm done being quiet." Hours later, the producers called everyone back for one last group scene. They needed some kind of resolution, or at least a confrontation big enough to close the episode. The ladies arrived one by one, their faces tense, their body language unreadable. Evelyn came last, wearing sunglasses even indoors. "Before we start," she said, removing them slowly, "I just want to say I'm tired. I'm tired of the lies, the whispers, and people making up stories about me." Chantel scoffed under her breath. "Maybe you should have thought about that before you crossed the line." Evelyn's eyes narrowed. "I didn't cross anything." "Whatever your man said, he's twisting it." "He's twisting it?" Chantel shot back. "Then explain the messages, the call, the whole thing about being late. You think we're all just imagining it?" The tension built like a storm. Even the crew stayed silent, waiting for the inevitable explosion. Evelyn stood her ground. "I was late, yes, but it had nothing to do with him. You know how stress messes with your body. I confided in him because he was there, and I thought he'd understand." That's it. For the first time, Chantel hesitated. "So you're saying there was nothing between you two?" "Nothing physical," Evelyn said firmly. "But I won't lie, we talked. Maybe more than we should have. But it wasn't what you think." Jackie clapped her hands once. "There it is. Emotional cheating is still cheating, honey. You don't gotta sleep with someone for it to hurt." Evelyn shot her a glare. "Stay out of this, Jackie. You just love the sound of your own drama." Brandy jumped in next, her voice sharp. "But Evelyn, you knew how close Chantel was to him. Why even go there? You had to know it'd cause problems. I was lonely." Evelyn blurted out suddenly, her voice cracking. The room went silent. "I was going through things nobody cared about. And when he listened, it felt good to be heard. That's all it was." Chantel stared at her, tears streaming down her face. "You could have called me. I would have listened." Evelyn's voice broke. "Would you? After everything we've said to each other this season?" For the first time since the chaos began, the two women just looked at each other. No shouting, no accusations, just the heavy realization of how far things had gone. Jackie leaned back in her chair, whispering to Brandy, "This is deeper than I thought." The producers, sensing the emotion, stayed quiet, letting the moment breathe. Evelyn finally exhaled. "For the record, I'm not pregnant. I went to the doctor. I just didn't want to talk about it because everyone twists everything." The silence broke with a deep sigh from Chantel. "Then say that earlier. All this could have been avoided." Evelyn nodded slowly. "You're right. I should have." But before anyone could relax, Chantel's man spoke up for the first time since entering the room. "I just want to say something," he said quietly. "I didn't mean to destroy anything. I thought being honest was the right thing to do. But maybe I went too far. Too far." Jackie snorted softly. "You think?" Evelyn rolled her eyes. "You knew exactly what you were doing. You wanted attention." "Maybe," he admitted. "But I also wanted the truth out there. Because for months, I've been painted like some background prop in y'all's drama. I'm human too." The women exchanged uneasy glances. For the first time, he didn't sound defensive, just exhausted. Finally, Chantel stood up. "You know what? I don't even know who to believe anymore. I just need space from both of y'all." She turned to leave, her heels echoing across the floor. Evelyn didn't stop her. Neither did her man. After she walked out, Jackie sighed dramatically. "Well, ladies, one thing's for sure. The fans are gonna eat this up." Evelyn shook her head. "Let them talk. I'm done defending myself. But the truth was, none of them were done. Not really, because outside, paparazzi were already waiting. Cameras flashing, microphones waving, reporters shouting questions. Evelyn, are you pregnant? Chantel, are you leaving the show? Is the friendship officially over? And as the cast piled into their cars, one question echoed louder than any headline could capture. Was this the end of Evelyn and Chantel's friendship, or just the beginning of an even darker chapter? Because one thing was clear, the truth might have come out, but the damage? That was just beginning. As the dust settles on one of the most explosive storylines in Basketball Wives LA history, fans are still reeling from the chaos that unfolded. Chantel's heartbreak, Evelyn's denial, and the shocking confession from Chantel's man have left everyone wondering, what's really the truth behind all this drama? Was this just a twisted misunderstanding that spiraled out of control, or is there still a secret neither of them is ready to face? The cameras might have stopped rolling for now, but the tension between these women feels far from over. Social media hasn't cooled down either. Some fans are taking Evelyn's side, saying she's being unfairly targeted by rumors. Others are rallying behind Chantel, insisting she deserves better after everything that's come to light. And then there are those who believe Chantel's man might be playing both sides, creating chaos just to stay relevant. Every new leak, every cryptic post, and every behind-the-scenes whisper just fuels the fire. What's next for the cast? Will Chantel and Evelyn ever be able to sit in the same room again? Will producers bring them face-to-face in the reunion, or will someone walk away for good? There are reports that the next episode might reveal even more receipts, texts, footage, and maybe even someone from Evelyn's past stepping forward to spill more tea. But one thing's for sure, this season has changed everything. Trust has been shattered, friendships destroyed, and reputations left hanging by a thread. The emotional scars from this scandal will linger long after the cameras stop rolling, and now it's your turn to weigh in. Do you think Evelyn was telling the truth, or was Chantel right all along? Was this all a setup for ratings, or are we seeing the raw, unfiltered side of their lives finally come to light? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because we know you've got opinions. Don't forget to hit that like button if you're as shocked as we are, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next twist in this wild BBWLA Season 12 saga. Turn on those notifications, because if the rumors are true, the next episode might be the most dramatic one yet. Until then, stay tuned, stay curious, and remember, on Basketball Wives LA, there's no such thing as off-camera peace, only unfinished business. Finished business.